Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Today is August 18th of 2021 at 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius. And before we do anything, I wanted to say thank you for helping me reach 300 subscribers. Amazing. I couldn't believe it. One of my subscribers told me that I hit it. I didn't even know. So now I know where to look for subscribers on my YouTube station. But today we're going to see what's the matter with our GMT. And our GMT is our Green Mound Juniper. When I do the plants, sometimes I give them to friends and then they come back to me and they're in a bad situation. So today we're going to try something different to help it recuperate. I'm going to use 1 part worm castings, 1 part peat moss, 1 part pine bark, and 3 parts sand. And then the roots, I'm going to dip them in Mikus and Azos, and I'll show you how to do that. But first, before we do anything, let me bring the camera in a little bit closer. We're going to have to clip all this dead stuff off. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So before we do anything, remember I sterilize my shears. I dip and clip. So right now we're going to take off. Look at that, the dead stuff just comes right off. Let's throw it into here, get it out of the way. Some of this just peels right off. I mean, it's all you can do is get rid of all the dead stuff before we do anything. And there's no green on it at all. You can see nothing. It's just dry as a bone. And the soil is wet. Well, it's a hard wet. We'll see what happens. We'll pull it out of the pot and we'll try to repot it. Take this one off. There's another dead one under here. Cut as close to the bark as you can. This is all dying back here, so I don't know if it'll come back. So we'll just take it over there. Pull that dead one off, that one off. I mean, it's not their fault. They're learning. So let's see if we can help them out by bringing back the tree. And we'll repot it because right now I don't know what's in there and I want to dust the roots with the Mikus. Now you're saying, Tom, what happens? Why don't you use the unmilled sphagnum moss? Well, Mikus is supposed to be it'll be like a fast-acting tonic for us right now. So let's see if it'll help this little tree out to recuperate. I mean, Mikus is a great bacteria which helps with stress and also promotes root growth. So boy, this is really congested. I mean, let's open it up, air it out a little bit. See if we can get in there. There's a lot of dead inside the branch. I don't know if you can see the dead in there. See it? Let me bring the camera in a little bit more closer so you can see what's going on here. See all the dead on the inside? I don't know if you can see it. So we got to clip all that out of there. Get rid of the bugs. So right now we're trying to get rid of all this dead stuff out. Don't be afraid to pull it back to look what's going on. And we can cut some of these downward facing branches to open it up a little bit for them. Sometimes people are afraid to prune, but you don't be, just try. I mean, you're the sculptor. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. But you learn by your mistakes. Let's go in and cut some more here. This one's starting to die, so we'll just cut over here. I just cut to where the pruners the shears stop. I'm going to take this out so we open it up a little bit. Yeah. Go into here. Just cut. Set my shears in peroxide again because you never know what's on the tree. So this way here you're better safe than sorry. So we're going to try to get some opening up in here. We'll take this off as close as we can. It's starting to die. I mean, there's nothing you can really do but to try to save it. Now we can leave it grow like this, or we can cut it off and give it a fighting chance like that. Or we can leave it on, but it'll look kind of scraggly. I think we're going to get rid of it so we can give this root system a chance to recuperate. So I dipped and clipped this, and see, you can take your hands and just cover everything up, and you can see that your cutting's gonna look still good, your tree. So I'm gonna just go until I just hit the branch. I feel a little resistance on the branch there, and I'm just gonna cut. And there you go. So let's see what else we got. Any more dead branches in here? There's more over here. Take that out. See, they come right off. Just pull it. And we got it opened up just a little bit more. I think that's pretty good. Let's see. Let's turn it this way. We can take some of this top growth off just towards the back to expose to let it be airing out a little bit, because here's another dead branch right here. So as you open everything up, you can see. There's another dead one here. That one just flaked right off. There we go. Just like that. Let's see this one. Just cut it back just a little bit to the inside of the branch there. And that way there we go. Let's tidy it up a little bit. I mean, it'll just take some of the brown tips off. Usually when you dip and clip it, it'll help from the tips dying back more, but sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. So let's take this off here. That little stub over there, if we take that off, I think we're going to have too much of a bare branch here, so we're going to let it fluff out a little more. We're just going to take this one off, growing in the Y. And I think that's pretty good. Now let's see how the roots are looking on this. So let's get this out of the way. Let's see if we can get it out of the pot. Yep. We got our screen in there. Get our stone out. Now let's just tease it a little bit and see what we got here. Oh, there's hardly any root growth here. Hardly any root growth at all. The roots are just like nothing. So I'm not going to take too much off. I'm just going to expose whatever roots I can find right now. And there we go. You can see whatever roots we got, some left. And it's flat here, so we got a nice radial root base. And you can see this soil is a nice sandy soil, but I want to get rid of this and try the other stuff. So what I'm going to do is take this, put it into here, get all this out. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the root ball before we put it into the pot. Get all this out of the way. There we go. Okay, so we're going to use the same container. Now it can go in like that, a little bit off. How is it going to look? This way, or a little this way. All you got to do is eye it up and see how you want it in the pot. Remember, you're the artist. So this is going to go good, so we can just add a little bit of our soil in. Oh, but before we do anything else, here's what I use, the light, to take the chlorine out of my water. It says it makes tap water safe, removes chlorine and chloramides, and just detoxifies heavy metals. So that's what I use for my fish, and that's what I use for my plants, since I can't get a lot of rainwater, because I don't have ways of collecting it in the city here, so I just use that. And then in the city you get all kinds of mosquitoes, so I can't put nothing big out there. So the next best step is just to buy yourself a bottle of stress coat. It's pretty good. It's got aloe vera in there to protect the fish, so if it's got aloe vera, it should help the roots. But that's like, I got the little pipette that's got milliliters on there, so I use like I use a half a milliliter per gallon of water, or 1 milliliter for 2 gallons of water. So right now I'm going to take this and put this into the water. I need to wet the roots real good. And there's no girdling roots on this that I can see. So before we do anything else, let's put a little of our soil in there. Let me get our API out of the way. And it's not much. That bottle, well, if they have smaller bottles if you just have one plant and you just want to use it for your house plants. But here's my mix right here, and we're just going to put that on the bottom. And before we do anything else, I'm going to take a cup. I'm just going to see where I'm at for the height of the pot, so I want it just a little bit up. So now what are we going to do? We're going to take our mikus. Now they do sell sample packs. I mean, you get a nice pack with a variety of items in there. I mean, it's not this big. This was donated, and you can buy them this big. What I'm going to do right now to get this thing to grow, I'm going to take about 3/4 of a tablespoon, and I'm going to dab it on the roots, just like that. Just pour it on there, because these things will promote root growth. That's what it's for, promoting root growth. You're going to say, Tom, it's going to burn it. It's not going to burn it. It's not a fertilizer. It's a beneficial bacteria that works hand in hand with the root system. Now, I'm not a scientist to explain it all, but what I'll do is I'll do more research on it and show you why, tell you why it works. But if you want to go to Extreme Gardens website, and you just click on Learn, and it'll show you videos on how they use it and how good it is. Now here's our azus. So that's almost like 3/4 of a tablespoon. I'm just going to put it all over the root system. I want to get this bacteria growing. To see if you can't get sphagnum moss, try the beneficial bacteria. Now we're going to see how it stimulates the roots to get it to grow, because this is like how would you call it? It's like penicillin for the plant almost. It's powerful stuff. It doesn't burn because it's just a bacteria. You got to remember, it's a bacteria. Okay, so we're pretty good. We're offset in the pot a little bit. And now we're just going to start adding our mix into the pot. Now all that beneficial bacteria is in there, so that's good, because that's going to give you a nice root structure. It stimulates root growth. And we use both of them. So we got a nice little powerhouse here to get it going. Let me get my spoon, This is a little hard to get in there. There we go. And just push it back a little bit because we want to develop some back roots too. Now, if you can't get unmilled sphagnum moss, I like the Mikus and the Azus for stimulating your root growth. That's why I put it in all my mixes, because it's there to stimulate the root growth. And then on these little pots, once a week or once every 2 weeks, you can take the Azus and mix it in a solution of, I think it's a gallon of water, but you'd have to read the instructions. And just water it in, not spray it on the foliage. You want it to water into the root system, because we got little pots and they're constantly being watered because of the heat. So our tree is a little bit off. So I'm gonna get our fingers in there to straighten it out. There we go. Now we get some more of our soil mix. Stick it in. I want to try to get this tree to grow, because that person felt bad that it didn't grow for them, so we're going to try it out. Ain't going to hurt. There we go. Got it in pretty good. It's tight in the pot. That's good. There. And the soil doesn't look bad. We'll see how we get it when we water it in. It might be a little fluffy. Well, let me get my spoon in there. There. Just take your time and work with it. Work on your pads. Air it out. We got it aired out pretty good. It's a little bit in here. We can take right over here. Yeah, that looks good. If you look, it's still airy. I don't want to cut too much off on it. I want to get it to grow. Now, we're going to have to, we got one large cut right here, where I cut that big part off. So we're going to take our Midnight Blue lipstick and seal that wound so that the water gets in there to rot it. And just, when you just use the lipstick, the dark color, it looks like black paste that you buy in the online or in the stores that costs a lot of money when you could just use lipstick. Go to the garage sales, people are getting rid of it. Okay, so now let's get our bottle and just water it in a little at a time. That's all you got to do. Take your time. It's draining real nice. And when you oil the ball bearings on your turntable, you can spin it in water and don't worry about it. You get it all the sides real nice. Just take your time and do it. There we go. I'm going to put it in a nice shady location. So it recovers from our potting. You can see how the water drained out real nice. Look at that. Real good. We'll get our tissue And just, we'll get our finger first and move some of the soil back in so we don't waste it. There we go. And then just take your towel and just wipe off your pot. And that's it. Now don't be afraid when people give you their opinion. Sometimes it's helpful and you like it, then you could try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but always listen. Sometimes they want to help you out, and sometimes there's a lot of good advice out there, and sometimes there's something you missed. So it doesn't hurt to listen. But in the end, you're the one that's doing your tree. You're the one that wants to know how it looks and how you want it shaped. So hopefully this will help us out. Now we could put a rock in there to keep the night terror out. This is way too big. We'll just put something simple in there for now. Just in the background, just to give it a little accent. And there you go. Something quick and easy. And don't be afraid to get your the beneficial bag. Go get the sample kit. I think it's $4.95 shipping or something like that. But look how nice our tree turned out. It's better to be a little higher right now than too low. But because if I would have planted it deeper, they might not pull the soil back in time. So for beginners, we're just going to do it this way, because at least we got it so they can take care of it. Now, always after you water, let's take our rock down and just push in case you see any pockets in there, like that. See right there, there's a pocket. So we're going to get some more of our soil to fill it up, because it settles. There we go. Don't be afraid to work with it. Try. If you don't try, you'll never know. You can watch a person do something 1,000 times, but if you don't do it, you're not going to be able to see your mistakes, and you're not going to be able to say, hey, I did it. Watching somebody doing something and doing it yourself is two different things. There we go. Let's put our rock back in for a little accent. And that's it. So, let's keep our fingers crossed. I'll put a little tag on and a date on there later. But that's our little juniper. Green Mound Juniper. We saved what we could on it, so hopefully it'll rebound. So in the wintertime, I'm going to have them put it in either in a cold area of the house, like a hallway where it's not heated, but so that the base doesn't freeze yet, it stays around 60 degrees, so it goes dormant. Or if you want, you can take this whole thing and put it in the ground about that deep, and then you can put soil up to here, and then just put leaves around it, but in a sheltered location, not like in a little cove or something. Or you can just put it in styrofoam with a hole in there where it's up, and then just put some soil around here so the roots don't freeze real good, and it should pull out pretty good. But that's our little tree for today. Once again, I want to say thank you to all those of you who subscribe to my channel. Thank you for helping me hit the 300 mark. And tonight is Wednesday night. And what is Wednesday night, everybody? Wednesday night is mystery night. We have suspense. We have the Whistler. We have Inner Sanctum. And most of all, we have lights out. That's a good old radio show. I love that show. So you take care, everybody. Pull up a nice cup, make yourself a nice hot cup of tea. Put on one of your favorite mystery shows. Sit back, relax, and have a good evening. Take care, everybody, and thank you for coming to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors.